Next feature is your reverse pulse button. That's the little white button on the left side of the cabinet. Very important feature because the more that you utilize this, the cleaner it is going to actually keep your dust collector filter, and the cleaner it's going to keep the inside of your cabinet when you're sandblasting. Okay? I recommend that you push this button after each piece that you sandblast. Next feature is your door. It's a freezer handle door, so when you go to close the door, you want to make sure that you slam it. By slamming it, it's going to seal it all the way around. You don't want to try to close it by keeping the handle open because it will not close. So make sure you slam the door when you open the door. The dimensions of the door are 18 inches wide by 17¼ inches. If you needed to fit something into the door, you can fit a 24-inch piece sideways into the CrystalBlast unit. So 24 inches wide by 36 inches long. One of the most important features on your CrystalBlast unit is the separator reclaimer on the inside of your cabinet. You will notice this big metal object on the back of your cabinet. That is your separator reclaimer, and what that means is it's going to separate your good abrasive from your fine dust particles. So as you have your dust collector on and you're sandblasting, this separator reclaimer is separating your good abrasive from your dust particles. Your good abrasive stays on the inside of the cabinet, so you can reuse it over and over. Your fine dust particles get sucked into the separator reclaimer, which in turn builds up on your filter cartridge inside your dust collector. Now this is a 550 CFM dust collector. It's rated at 700 CFM, but it actually pulls 550 CFM. Is on the back of the machine. When you push that filter cartridge and it shoots the compressed air at your filter cartridge on the inside of your cabinet, that dust has to go somewhere. And you have a hopper on the back of your dust collector. This is where that the fine abrasive dust goes to after you hit the reverse pulse button and clean your filter cartridge. It will fall down to this hopper. I recommend at the end of the day, turn your machine off, depressurize the machine, and then unscrew the cap on the back of the machine. And what you'll have in here are your really fine dust particles. You won't have any good abrasive in here because of the separator reclaimer on the inside of the more important features of the CrystalBlast unit is your abrasive flow valve, or some people call it a choke valve. That is the blue valve down to the right of the pressure pot. This regulates the flow of abrasive and air that you're going to get when you're sandblasting. So if you're getting a lot of abrasive when you hit your foot pedal coming out of your nozzle, this is the abrasive control valve, and this is what you are going to adjust to get your sandblasting flow corrected. It comes factory set at a 45-degree angle, but once you get it, if you increase or decrease your pressure ever, you might have to tweak it slightly. If you're getting a lot of abrasive coming out, you're basically going to take the blue handle and tweak it to your right. This is your air line. If you had it turned all the way so it was parallel with your air line, you would be getting all air, no abrasive. If you took the blue valve and you pulled it straight out, basically closing off all of your air, and it's pointing straight out at you, you're going to get very heavy abrasive and no pressure. Okay, so you can, it comes factory set at the 45-degree angle, but you can tweak it from there. Okay. Now that we have our CrystalBlast in place, one thing that I wanted to mention: when you receive the machine, you have a metal bar that goes across the bottom front of the machine. Once you have that in place, you can remove that bar. There's no use for it. It's just used for securing the sandblaster to the pallet during shipment. So you can remove that. Now once we have it where we want it, we are going to load the abrasive into the CrystalBlast unit. You are going to receive 50 pounds of silicon carbide 180 abrasive with your machine. That will come in a white bucket such as this. You're going to remove the lid, and we're going to pour about 3/4 of this 50 pounds of abrasive into the CrystalBlast machine. Your CrystalBlast machine has a 40-pound pressure pot, and you don't want to overflow the CrystalBlast with abrasive. It's not going to hurt your machine if you put all 50 pounds in, but it's recommended you put 35 to 40 pounds in. So we're going to open the door, we're going to take our abrasive, and we're going to pour it right into the cabinet, about 3/4 of this. Once you have that in, all of your abrasive now is sitting in the hopper of your CrystalBlast, and all you have to do now is drop it down into your pressure pot by pushing in the ball valve. Hold this in for 15 to 20 seconds, drop the abrasive into the pot, and now you're ready to pressurize and sandblast. On the inside of your cabinet, you're going to have 2 metal grates that you may have to remove at some time during your ownership of the CrystalBlast. The grates, to take them out, are very simple. They slide in and out. You can see that there's 2 of them. What you can do is you can lift up the front one, remove the back one, and you can take this out. Now you can see on the inside of the cabinet that we have a steel mesh screen on the inside of the cabinet. That is going to catch a lot of your debris from your sandblasting mask. You're going to remove the grate, and at the end of the week, you're going to take a shop vac. You're going to drop your abrasive down into the pot, and what's left is going to be the debris, and you're going to suck that up with the shop vac. That's very important, because if you do not clean that out, that is eventually going to break down, get down into your abrasive, get into your sandblasting hose, and it's going to cause clogs down the line. So you're going to go to sandblast, you're not going to get any air, and you're not going to get any abrasive. And that's usually what it is. You have a clog in your hose or your nozzle. A common question we get about the CrystalBlast unit, because everything has quick disconnects and you don't really need any tools to remove things such as the hoses or the nozzles when you replace them, is how to get the nozzle off. Nozzle is very simple. You can, if you have a gloveless machine, you can slink the blast hose out of the machine, and you'll notice on the holder of the nozzle, it's got a little depressor button. What you are going to do is you are going to grab that with your right hand, you're going to depress that, and you're going to grab the hose and you're going to pop it off of the hose. On the inside of the nozzle there's little teeth, and so when once your nozzle is worn out and you need to replace it, you're going to pop it off, discard this nozzle, take your new nozzle and pop it back onto the hose until it snaps. Once it snaps, you want to make sure that that hose is all the way into the nozzle holder. If you do not get the hose all the way in, you're going to have a little bit of a gap, and as you start to sandblast, abrasive is going to start to eat a little hole in the side of your holder of your nozzle. So make sure that that is pushed all the way in. Once your nozzle is worn out again, you're going to depress it, you're going to remove the nozzle and put a new nozzle back on.